$1,000. Spurred by the rising price, explorers ransacked the planet in the greatest gold rush ever. At the bottom of Mponeng mine, in the brutal closeness, where the ore plunges steeply down into the rock below the deepest level, they are chasing it with drills. Certainly, they will go down and get it. I joined a small group that was going down. We met in a thatched reception hall. A table was spread with a breakfast of sweet pastries, little tubs of yogurt, and a steaming tray of boerewors, a pungent, coarse-cut country sausage that South Africans extol but do not always eat. A group of sturdy males from the mine's underground management stood growling among themselves and eyeing us with pleasure, as if we were Christians that they thought the lions might enjoy. Then they sat us in folding chairs to tell us about the dangers of the world we were about to enter. Deep mining destabilizes rock. 600 times a month, they said, a seismic event will shudder through Mponeng mine. Sometimes the quakes cause rock bursts, when rock explodes into a mining cavity and mows men down with a deadly spray of jagged rock. Sometimes a tremor causes a fall of ground, the term for a collapse. Some of the rock bursts had been so powerful that other countries, detecting the seismic signature, had suspected South Africa of testing a nuclear bomb. You will certainly feel a little shake when you are down there, Randall Roderman, the mine's general manager, rumbled in his gravelly, Dutch-inflected English. A little shike, it sounded like. He was an enormous man in a plaid shirt, with hands like shovels, and a beard that looked as if it would score glass. After Roderman, a safety officer showed us how to use the Draeger Oxybox self-rescuer, a device that came in a small, frail-looking aluminum case. Self-rescue was not an idea I had grappled with, and now that I was forced to, did not like. In an emergency, you were supposed to open the little case and inflate the rubber bag inside by blowing into it, then strap the bag into place like a gas mask. The device would filter out toxic gases. It would keep you alive for 30 minutes. We changed into white overalls and steel-toed rubber boots and buckled on heavy belts. They gave us miners' hats and lamps. I attached the heavy lamp battery to my belt, threaded on the oxybox, and went clumping down a sort of cattle chute to the cage. Each cage, or elevator car, holds 120 people in a 3-deck stack. When the first deck has filled with its load of 40 miners, the car descends 10 feet and stops, and the deck above it fills in turn with another 40. The hoisting apparatus for a cage that carries people instead of rock is called a man-winder. Sometimes it winds men to their death. On May 11, 1995, in the Val Reefs gold mine, 90 miles south of Mponeng, an underground railway engine broke loose. Pulling rail cars after it, the engine plunged 7,000 feet down a shaft onto a 2-deck cage, killing the 105 men who were returning to the surface at the end of shift. On May 1, 2008, 9 miners died in a subshaft at Goldfield's South Deep mine when a winder rope broke and the cage fell 196 feet. Once our cage was full, a dispatcher signaled with a sequence of electric bells. Slowly, very slowly at first, the cage crept down. The bright tunnel disappeared and the light faded, and the black rock closed in. Almost imperceptibly, the speed increased, until at last the operator, controlling the cage from a distant room in a separate building, took off the brake and dropped us down the shaft at 46 feet a second. My stomach sailed into my ribs, my ears blocked. Air whistled in the wire mesh. The cage squeaked and rattled as it plummeted down the shaft. Water collected on the metal frame and dripped on our heads. It was pitch dark. The only illumination came from a lamp that someone held in his hand. In its light, I could see water falling like a light rain. Sometimes, the light of a tunnel flashed by. As the cage hurtled